Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening.
Hold one, Andre.
You're not good at this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Oh my God!
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy.
Goodbye and good night.
Hold two, on bar.
It's still real to me, damn it!
Dummy.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
Hold three, Lamas covered. Three-handle family Gradunzel.
Mamma mia!
And now, Unchained.media presents the B Plus Podcast with your host, Greg Unchained.
It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
Number 4, Armbar.
I will never retire!
I still got 200 more. I got 200 more holes to list.
All right, fellow B Plus players, welcome to the B Plus podcast. Today is Tuesday. You know what that means. It's bonus episode time. And this week on the bonus episode time, we've got a real Aussie Graps focus. Normally, I would fit all this sort of stuff into the Aussie Graps episodes, but OneFall Entertainment, starting their Studio Superstars series, and I thought that I'd not covered them enough on my news segment on the Aussie Graps show, and so I wanted to give them an entire show dedicated to talking about OneFall Entertainment Studio Superstars. So joining me to go through some of the history of OneFall and how we got to where we are, Chris. How are you, Chris?
Great, Greg. Thanks for having us on the show.
Thank you so much for coming on. I saw the OneFall stuff quietly popping up, through the news feed and whatnot, and it just kind of fell by the wayside. And then all of a sudden you're like, we're going live and we're on TV and all this. And I'm like, whoa, this is insane. And I thought I have to talk to these guys.
Well, I guess being a show through RMI TV helps a lot with that. And a part of that is making content for Channel 31. So if you have an RMI TV show, you have the opportunity to get on Channel 31.
Right. So, well, let's start with you. How did you get into, I guess wrestling, but also, you have a television background, correct?
Audio visual background. I started
Right.
out about 18 years ago in Explosive Pro Wrestling, doing production for the crew over there in Perth.
Right.
So that's like my family away from family is Explosive Pro Wrestling. Started doing audio visual work around Perth. Moved up to broadcasting. I was doing AFL, NBL, rugby union, even stuff like The Block. And then,
Interesting.
yeah, it just went straight. Then moved over here. I moved over here to do AFL because, the amount of games you get over here is more than Perth.
Yeah.
1 to 4. So I moved over here to do that. Found out about RMI TV. Found out you could pitch your own show and went straight into that. I always wanted to run a wrestling show. I never wanted to be a wrestler when I was young. I always wanted to be the guy to push the pyrotechnics or play the music on board.
Right. So you're a lifelong wrestling fan then?
Yep.
Right. Yeah. So that's normally the story. Like when you say to people, how'd you get into wrestling? It's like, well, I've always been a fan. So it's just kind of the natural
I
thing.
was 4 years old.
Yeah. Oh, wow. So always been a fan.
Yep.
Can't remember a time when you weren't.
I may have dropped out for a few years, but yeah, picked it back up when I think, Undertaker threw Mankind off the Hell in a Cell.
Nice. Yeah, that'll do it. Looking at OneFall, looking back, you've been involved. So OneFall is your baby. You pitched it to RMI TV, and it started kind of as a news show, yeah?
Yeah, we started out as a news show, and we wanted to bring a bit of exposure to the Australian and New Zealand scene.
Right.
We started out working with a few companies, and as we moved along, more companies came on board, and we're always looking to, promote more companies and stuff like that. So it was just all about promoting them, giving them another avenue And it was more about another platform for the workers of Australian and New Zealand wrestling, giving them a platform where they could sort of like do whatever they wanted to do without the restrictions of, hey, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. Like, this is your platform, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So where they can just sort of be themselves and let people get to know them kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. So it's very similar to what we do here. Well, we do it mostly in audio, though, and you guys are a visual format. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel, no disrespect, but I feel visual is what wrestling is all about. And so I just wanted people to visually see these characters that we go out and see every weekend, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a face for radio, though. That's why I do what I do.
I stick behind the camera.
You're behind the camera. Right. So tell us about finding the hosts and everyone that you do put in front of the camera that are there to talk wrestling. Are they mostly sort of like broadcast students? Are they people who are fans of wrestling? A bit of both? How does all that come into it with One4?
So, yeah, mainly it's journalism students or people who are just interested in hosting a wrestling show. I mean, we have a great regular student crew from like KV the intern, Jared the intern, Jason who does EVS camera, Jake who does our audio, our main writer James Halley, to our director Tom Barrett, all the way through to our hosts Michael Thompson, Phil Andrews, and Smack Daddy. I mean, they're like, you know, Phil Andrews has a comedy background. Michael Thompson, Smack Daddy, of course, have a wrestling background.
Yeah.
Even through to Crackerjack, who's an OG of One4 and be commentating on the shows coming up.
And so it's a full production. Like you mentioned there, you got the writers, you got the sound guys, you got the full thing going on. This is a full scale professional level production.
Yeah, well, it's through RMI TV. So any RMI TV member can join us and become part of the crew, part of the family. So One4 Entertainment, our motto is to train and entertain. So if you want to join RMI TV, it's $20 for the year if you're a non-student, or if you're an RMIT student, it's $10 for the year. And you're welcome to come down and learn a few things, learn how to get into the broadcast industry.
Right, so in Melbourne, anyone can actually join $20 a year to join it, even if they're not a student.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go. So if anyone listening wants to get involved, that's going to be the way to do it. $20 a year for an RMI TV membership. And so this RMIT is a university for people learning broadcasting and...
Yes, so it's like an extra curriculum club, sort of like the chess club, but for broadcast geeks.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's pretty cool.
Plus,
so it's like AV Club in like all of the 80s movies that I watch.
Exactly that, mate. Yep.
Yeah. Well, except the AV Club in those high school movies, it was always free and filled with complete nerds. Well, although I guess you're talking about a wrestling show here.
We
so
still are. We're like hyper nerds. We're like AV Club and wrestling freaks. So, you know.
Combined. Yeah. Yeah. So that's the partnership with RMIT. Now, so you guys started as a news source. Why the shift into, I mean, I'm hearing clues as to why the shift. You said you wanted a platform for the guys to do what they do, and what they do best is wrestle. Is that the main reason?
Yeah, that is the main reason. They just built a new $30 million media portal down there, and through help from the technicians Luke, Matt, James, Jess, and Paris, we've wanted to push the boundaries of what we can achieve in those studios. And so This is basically like the guinea pig project that we're doing down there to see how far we can push it. I mean, we got the live streams, we've got a live audience, and we got the ring in Studio A. We got Phil Andrews doing interviews in Studio D. We got commentary, and we've got like a whole world backstage as well. So it's more like the we're trying to do it sort of like the good old days of Raw, if you will.
So yeah, so like the classic Raw when they had the big letters, the RAW, like that era. That's what I'm thinking in my head for some reason. Yeah, sort
of like when they had the green room and the backstage stuff, and there was a lot of that, more of that sort of stuff instead of like the static sets that they have today.
Yeah, absolutely. So can we expect to see sort of backstage shenanigans? We're going to get like a 24/7 hardcore title sort of situation going.
Mate, you never know what you're going to expect on these shows. That's why you should either get down there live or get it on the live stream. This is going to be completely live, so you'll be able to watch it at home live or come down, watch it in the studios. We've got TVs set up, so it's all being filtered through, so you won't miss a bit of the action.
Right, so that was the thing that excited me the most, was finding out that you guys were actually going to go live with this. So we've never had that in Australia. We've never had a live, like it's happening right now, and you can watch this right now as it's happening. Anything can happen. Because it really does add that extra element of like because if something goes wrong, you guys, I mean, I hope nothing goes wrong, touch wood. But if something goes wrong, you guys are going to be scrambling to try to figure out how to fix it. It adds a level of excitement as a viewer.
Well, I mean, we do the live stream for 1 hour every Wednesday, 8:30 to 9:30 Eastern time. So I've got the crew running pretty well doing the live stuff. So it was the next natural step. And I mean, for wrestling fans, I think instant gratification is where it's at these days. You know, you don't want to read about it on Facebook. You don't want to hear about it on Twitter or, hey, there's a great show you should check out that happened last week, or check out the YouTube clips of this. You want to watch it live as it's happening, and you want that result as it happens in real time.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. We're going to get back to the interview in just a second, but first, just want to talk to the blokes in the audience. Let's be honest. We all want to look good. Whether we're going out to the local Graps show, whether we're going out with friends, whatever we're doing, we want to look good. But we don't necessarily... I mean, we're not all Nikki Van Blair with daddy's credit card spending up a spree. We don't all necessarily like the shopping aspect that it takes to look good. And that's where Threadbox comes in. Threadbox is a monthly subscription box that sends personalized clothing to your door. When I say personalized clothing, I'm not talking about the weird stuff that has your name on it and says it's a family thing or whatever. I'm not talking about those things that you get on the Facebook ads. I'm talking about real personalized personal shopping experience. If you need shirts, they're going to look at shirts. If you need singlets, they're going to look at singlets. If you need shoes, they're going to look at shoes. You're in email contact with a stylist who will build a style profile based on how you like to look. I've got the fresh duds. CJ gets the classic box where, a little bit plainer in his outlook, whereas I like to have funky patterns. And they're going to personalize that and tailor it to you and to your needs. And what's more is it's available on every budget, with boxes starting from just $40. So if you want to look good with less effort and without all the pesky shopping stuff, if you want someone else to handle that for you, head over to threadbox.com.au, and because you are a B Plus player, they're going to give you 15% off your first box when you use the code the B Plus 15. That's threadbox.com.au. Use the code the B Plus 15 and get your first box today. The B Plus is growing, and we want you to be a part of it. So if you have an idea for a podcast, or if you want to write reviews for shows, whether that's WWE, New Japan, local shows especially, we have a big focus on Aussie Graps here. So if you go out to shows in Melbourne, we specifically need people in New Zealand, Tasmania, and Queensland. If you go out to shows in those areas, please let us know. We would love to hear from you. We would love to work with you. If you have a passion for wrestling and you want to write about anything wrestling, it can be anything. It can be listicles, it can be in-depth articles, opinion pieces, show reviews, whatever you want to do. If it's wrestling, it's fair game. Shoot us a message or send an email to thebplus@unchained.media. That's thebplus@unchained.media. Let us know what you want to do, and we'll get back to you, and we'll work something out, because the B Plus is growing, and we want to grow the B Plus family. Now, on with the show. Yeah, wrestling is one of the last forms of great live entertainment, in my opinion. It's theater in the round. And so I thought it was weird when you guys announced that these were TV tapings happening on a Wednesday and Thursday. I'm like, how are you going to draw a crowd on a Wednesday and Thursday? But then when I found out you were doing it live, I'm like, well, I mean, that's good for the people that are out of state. Like, you get home from work, you kick back, you watch some wrestling. I've always wanted to do that. And we can't do that because of, Monday Night Raw is actually Tuesday morning Raw for us. So
well, that's the thing. A lot of these guys I've got coming, and who we've booked with Michael Thompson, GM's help. There are a lot of guys from Adelaide, Sydney, Perth. So a lot of those fans sort of like want to watch as well. So it was a way to sort of include the whole of the Australian wrestling scene, saying, hey, guys, everyone can watch, everyone can check this out as it happens. You know, there's that option there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is the goal, because that's something I see when I look at the talent, when I look at the roster. I mean, you've got who's who of Australian wrestling when it comes to, the names at the top of the card, especially. You got, Jonah Rock, Adam Brooks, Robbie Eagles. You got the PWG3 lockdown. You got Gino Gambino on there. Dowie is another one of the big names. Logan Gray from over in EPW. Really excited to see him in there. I mean, that's the main event for the title. You've also got Lockie Hendricks, who's a big up and coming name. I mean, it's a who's who, really, when you look at the main event scene. Is that something that you want to continue? You want to sort of draw from all of Australia and make this a real national product?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's also guys that we want that we couldn't get because of it being on a Wednesday and a Thursday night didn't always line up with people's schedules. I mean, Mitch Waterman is a prime example. Robbie Hart, AJ Istria, Davis Storm, the Four Nations, Tough Stuff, Ricky South. These are people that we wanted as well, but just didn't work out. And we hope to get them if we get a second season, stuff like that. And it's always open, I always want to give people, new people, up-and-comers as well, like a shot, like the Mile High Club. They're really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted an all-around wrestling show because, I mean, if you're going to put it on TV, if you're going to put it out there, if you're going to try and take it back to the days of yesteryear when you used to get 5,000 people down to World Championship Wrestling in Australia, you have to have the who's who.
Yeah, absolutely. And you got to be taking big swings, which I think, going live on a Wednesday and Thursday for 3 weeks straight, I think that's a big swing. And I sure hope it ends up being a home run.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know any way else to swing, if that makes sense,
Yeah, absolutely. Swing for the fences every time.
Yep.
Yeah, so you also have, these were, before it became a live streaming situation, it's also being filmed for television, obviously. You mentioned it before, Channel 31.
Yeah.
How did all that come about?
So that's just something RMI TV offers. They work very closely with Channel 31. They do live shows to Channel 31, tape shows to Channel 31, and they provide a lot of content for Channel 31 through the student volunteers at RMI TV. So, you can get, if you're looking to get your name on credits and see your name on TV, that's how you do it.
And so Channel 31, is that available in all homes?
That's available in Melbourne, free to air. So, that's where the subscription service through Clean comes through, at $10 each or 6 cents for $50.
Yeah, so $10 per show or, six shows for $50.
Yep.
Now, so the free to air is only in Melbourne. So if anyone listening is from any of the other states, they're going to need to get onto Clean to watch this. But really, it's a good price for what you're offering with some of the. I mean, let's go through. We'll just have a look at night 1 and 2. Some of the matches you've got here. You've got Jonah Rock versus Adam Brooks, which can main event any show in the country. Robbie Eagles versus Logan Gray. Gino Gambino versus Lockie Hendricks. You're doing a tag team tournament.
Yeah.
Tell us about the tag team tournament.
So of course we have the tag team titles and we have the 1-fall open weight title. So naturally they're being held by Vacant at the moment. So
right, that absolute legend of the game,
the legend Vacant. So we have to obviously crown some champions, and the way to do it is through as Michael Thompson likes to put it, a series of matches, which is basically a tournament. And we thought, what's the best way to crown a champion? And we thought about this long and hard, and everyone does a tournament for their main champion. You can do the number one, last two battle royal sort of deal. So we thought we'd bring back the scramble match that's been underutilized.
So that's for the singles title, the open weight title. You've got the scramble match, and that's on night 1. That's Gino versus Jonah versus Dowie versus Robbie versus Logan versus Brooksy.
Yeah.
What a match.
Yeah, definitely a dream match, that probably hasn't been talked about as a dream match before in the scramble match.
Yeah. Well, scramble matches, like you said, they're underutilized.
Yeah, I mean, we were thinking, with Michael Thompson, we were thinking do we bring it out as a gauntlet match, or which direction do we go? And scramble match was the one that sort of like stuck out.
Yeah. You know what I like that's underutilized is the beat the clock.
Yes.
I like beat the clock challenges. Have 3 one-on-one matches, and whoever gets their victory the fastest becomes the champion.
That's it. Yeah, I do like the beat the clock challenge, and it may make an appearance on this show.
Awesome. I'm glad to hear that, and I'm going to claim credit for it if it does. I don't care if it's already in your plans. I said it, therefore I get to claim credit. But also the tag team tournament, you've got some people get a bye to the final. What's happening there?
Well, I mean, the people that get by to the final, have a look at the talent involved. I mean, it's the Untouchables, TMDK, Marcus Pitt, Damian Slater. Don't you think they should get a bye?
I mean, best tag team in the country, it has been said quite often, but I think there are other contenders up there for best tag team. But, I mean...
The National Classics would definitely be in that discussion.
I'm a big fan of earning your spot. I don't think anyone should get a bye necessarily.
Yeah, no, well, that's fair enough. But we just thought the Natural Classics and TMDK, based on their recent history and their recent outings, probably earned the wild card spot.
Right, and the other competitors. So we've got some new teams in here. So, well, at least new to me. Correct me if I'm wrong. Animalistic, yep. Sid Parker and Fox.
Yep.
First time teaming, is it?
Yeah, first time teaming, but long time competitors, long time, they've been around this traps for a while, and they'll bring a form of brutality. We just thought it'd be fun to put them together and see what they bring.
Right. We've also got the lads in there, Big Boys, Big Ali and Slade Mercer.
Yep.
Gentleman's Agreement, Richie Taylor, Campbell Crawford.
Yep.
Hustle and Flow, Slick Nick Berry and Kaz Jordan. I mean, and there's some teams in there that could make it to that final with the Natural Classics and the Untouchables. So it's not a lock.
It's hard to choose a favorite when you're looking at them on paper, and that's what we really wanted out of this tournament. We didn't want people. When you look at some tournaments, you can say, bad example, but the Saudi Arabia one where Shane McMahon won. I mean, who could have guessed that?
Right,
but who's going to go through?
Yeah, but as you point out, though, that's not always a good thing. Unpredictability does not by default mean good.
No, that's it. So no one was booking like a Saudi oil baron that night. So
no.
Yeah.
As long as there's no Saudi oil barons involved in the booking for this show.
Not that I'm aware of. No.
Not that you. No one. I mean, we don't know the higher ups at RMI TV. No, I'm kidding.
We do have the RMI TV board sort of looking over our shoulder and sort of saying yes or no to a few things. Like Michael Thompson wanted to just hand the 1-4 Openweight Championship to Lockie Hendricks because he thought he was someone who should carry the belt and be the face of the company, and the RMI TV board sort of nixed that and even barred him from being in the Scramble Championship match. So that's why he's in the number 1 contendership match on night 1 with JXT and Slade.
And so we will see the title defended in this set of tapings as well. So it will be the Openweight Championship will be crowned and defended.
Yes.
So really, I mean, you've only announced stuff for the first 3 nights that I've seen. So there's a lot still up in the air. But the first 2 nights are the 27th and 28th of November.
Yep.
People in Melbourne definitely need to get down to check them out. And if you're not in Melbourne, you want to get on to Kling to order the show.
Yep.
Now, is there anything else you want to talk about before I let you go?
Well, the other dates are December 5th, 6th, 12th and 13th. And I think the first 2 to 3 nights are really going to shape nights 4, 5 and 6 as we move on. I mean, night 6, we have the Street Gang Hooligans, Logan Gray and Alex AK-47 Kingston, who just became the Explosive Pro Wrestling champions, and we're putting the EPW champions against the One Fall champions and seeing who's best.
Yeah, Street Gang Hooligans, that's another team that really could have had a bye to the finals if they were to be in the tournament.
Definitely, with their recent outing,
Yeah. Or that ladder match was incredible.
It was great.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that does it for us here on the Studio Superstars preview. Where can people find you, or more importantly, where can people find Wonderfall?
We're on Facebook and Instagram, so it's just One Fall Entertainment, number One Fall Entertainment. And yeah, you can find us for Studio Superstars at RMI TV, right in the heart of the city, Melbourne City, on the 28th, 29th of November, 5th, 6th, 12th, and 13th of December. Or you can watch us on Clean for all 6 events for $50.
Awesome. And I am at Greg Unchained on Twitter, at the Greg Unchained on Instagram. We collectively are the B+ Wrestle on Twitter because wrestling wouldn't fit. Hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star review on iTunes if you feel so inclined. And thank you so much for listening.
Hold one. Arm drag.
You're not doing this. Get out. Let me tell you a personal story about Vince McMahon.
You just made the list.
Sorry, no speak English.
Dummy. Goodbye and good night. Hold 2. Arm bar.
This is the worst town I've ever been in.
It's still real to me, damn it. Dummy. Hold 3. The moss covered 3-handle